First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and a sincere salutation to you, Akim, and you, Aquat, to believe in all sincerity. They see here the title, Boston Grassroots Group holds public meeting in Roxbury to discuss reparations. It says, Boston, approximately 200 people attend a meeting in Boston's Roxbury neighborhood on Saturday. It was hosted by a grassroots group to discuss the topic of reparations for African Americans in the city. The Boston People's Reparations Commission held a meeting at the Bowling Building in Nubian Square, where members of the city's African American community shared with the group what reparations means to them. Reparations is cash, it's land, it's education. It's these other functions that are included. It's not just money, said Boston resident Nick Johnson. Charles Gansey, who served on the Boston City Council from 1984 through 2015, said slaves in the U.S. were once promised their share of the wealth once the Civil War was over. That has yet to happen, Gansey said. Let's see the tone for the United States of America right here in the city of Boston. The Reverend Kevin Peterson, held the BPRC, said the commission is in discussions with leaders of white churches in Boston to invest $50 million into the city's black community, but this is far from the figure of $15 billion the commission is seeking from the city for its role in slavery. $15 billion, which is not enough. Every life is incalculable. We think about tens of thousands of slaves who died in the midst of slavery in Boston. How do you put a number on that, Peterson said. They died in slavery while their white counterparts flourished. In January, Mary Michelle Wu established the Boston Reparations Task Force to research and document the city's role in historical ties to the transatlantic slave trade and the institution and legacies of slavery. Okay, so there's a Boston Reparations Task Force. Okay, and they're basically holding public meetings to discuss reparations. Okay, and what a lot of Jakes are going to come to find out that you're not going to get reparations from the so-called white men. You see, they want to set the tone for the United States of America when, this is a curse from the Most High for disobedience of the commandments. And this is what we often talk about, the Israelites, starting with Great Millstone. It says right here, the Reverend Kevin Peterson, head of the BPRC, said the commission is in discussions with leaders of white churches in Boston to invest $50 million into the city's black community, but this is far from the figure of $15 billion the commission is seeking from the city for its role in slavery. $15 billion, which is not enough. Every life is incalculable. We think about tens and thousands of slaves who died in the midst of slavery in Boston. You see, so $15 billion is not enough, but that's a big number that they want. Okay, and tens of thousands of slaves who died. Okay, yeah, it is incalculable. But let's read the scriptures. Okay, it says they died in slavery while their white counterparts flourished. It says here reparations is cash, it's land, it's education. It's these other functions that are included, And after the Civil War, they were, to get the share of the wealth, but they never got that. You see, because this was a curse from the Most High. Okay. Let's get the book of Deuteronomy 28. Let's see. It says, thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. You see? And people lived off the animals. They lived off the land. So this is a curse. Okay, you're not going to get land. You're not going to see livestock. It says here, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. And, as soon as, Jake's, had babies, they would literally sell them like fruit, on a scale. Okay. And there was no might in the hand, okay, of so-called Negroes. It says, the fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall the nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. And as we were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, okay, to the different slave trades, we were oppressed and crushed always. Nations, they ate up of our labors because we served them. And fast forward to today, you see people wanting to get money from their enemy. It says approximately 200 people attended a meeting in Boston's Roxbury neighborhood on Saturday. It was hosted by a grassroots group to discuss the topic of reparations for African Americans in the city. Okay. And the truth is, you're not going to get reparations. We're actually cursed by the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But let's read. Let's read a little bit more. This is Micah 2:2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And that's ultimately what the white man did. They took fields, they took them by violence, houses. Okay, they oppressed a man, his house, and even his heritage. Okay, even to this day, they're calling themselves, the true Israelites, and they're not. They're in that land. They're imposters. Okay. So they oppress a man, his house, and even a man in his heritage. You cannot proclaim to be an Israelite because they want to say anti-Shem. Everyone's an Israelite but the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. Okay, this is what our enemies did. Okay, he said a nation that we know it's not. We are not Americans. We're not Africans. We're Israelites. And we came to America. We spoke Hebrew, and they know these things. Even in the movie Roots, I want to say Kunta Kinte. They show him praying, bowing down to the east and praying, and saying, this funky language, but they want to make it like he was African, but it wasn't. They know that those were the Hebrews. Okay? Like when you run that movie back. But these are the reparations that we're truly going to get. This is Job 20:15. He has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. Okay? This is talking about the so-called white man. He shall suck the poison of asp. The viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be. Okay, now when you get the word reparation, it's just the making of amends for a wrong one has done by paying money to or otherwise helping those who have been wronged, and who have been wronged more than the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, one of the synonyms is what? Restitution, recompense for injury or loss. It says, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Okay, so according to what he has swallowed down, that's going to be the restitution. That's going to be the payback. They're going to give that all back. Okay, because they labored from their youth, from when they came into power to destroy the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, to hide this truth. It says, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he buildeth not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. You see? He hath violently taken away a house which he buildeth not. And we read that. They took away the ox and the sheep. They oppressed a man and his heritage, his house. You couldn't own anything. Okay? They could come into your house. They could do whatever they wanted to you, and you couldn't say nothing. We were total slaves. But Jake thinks they're going to get reparations. But in this life, but ultimately in the next life, they're going to cough it up, so to speak. There shall none of his meat be left. There shall no man look for his goods. All right? It says here, nothing is left after they finish gorging themselves. Therefore, their prosperity will not endure. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Okay? And he's about to go in straits because this economy is collapsing. You know, the light of the wicked is being taken away from them. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him, right? Because they're ultimately going to be betrayed by all the other nations, their allies. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast a furious wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating, right? He will try to come in like a flood. He's being unmasked for the devil that he is. And he's going to ultimately, want to wreak havoc on the saints. But while he's doing this and trying to push the MOTB and decapitate heads, I mean, the whole NWO is going to be, a time like never before seen. The Lord's going to come upon this devil. Because the earth has to be translated from one to another, one that is profitable. Okay? So I just wanted to bring this out. Jake still thinks, they're going to get reparations, which we will, but just not in this life. Okay? It will take the Most High to intervene, okay, to get that restitution. Again, Job 20 and 18, they will get back everything they worked for. Their wealth will bring them no joy. Okay? And they work through means of wickedness, through robbing, cheating, and stealing. Okay? So they're coming, but they're coming when Yahweh Bashim El Shai comes to take them down. So Lord willing, you were edified. Something quick, to the point. Again, Lord willing, you were edified. Shalom.